Every once in a while, a graphically impressive CD game hits the shelves and suddenly becomes the new standard by which all other CD games are judged. Seventh Guest was first and was followed a couple of years later by Myst, which currently reigns supreme. It might not for much longer, though. The challenger to the throne is on its way from Software Toolworks, and it's called Dragonlore. No foolin', this is one of the best, if not the best looking game I've ever seen on any platform. I could probably drone on for 6 or 7 more captions about how cool it looks, but my editor says I have to cater to the key-sheeting, chess-playing nerd types who think gameplay is important. Just kidding, I think it's important too. Not only does Software Toolworks expect Dragonlore to surpass all other games of its type on the PC, they also hope to pioneer role-playing on the 3DO home system. You can look for a 3DO version of Dragonlore shortly after the PC version is released. The 3DO's graphic capability should allow for the same excellent visuals found on the PC. Good gameplay is the guts of a game, though, and seeing some guts would be a welcome change in the trend of most 3DO games thus far. Does Dragonlore have the balance that so many could-have-beens lacked? From what I've seen, the answer is a resounding yes. Cashing in on the popular first-person perspective trend, Dragonlore puts you in the shoes of Werner.
There's something I've got to tell you, Werner.
A young man who finds out that he lives with an adopted family.
Even though you're like a son to me. Today you're 18 years old, it's time for you to discover your past and forge your destiny.
And sets out to discover his true past. Werner's hair is something to behold. You'd think he could use it as a weapon. Speaking of weapons, you won't find as much emphasis on bloody melee here as you would in most CRPGs. Dragonlore is meant as more of an intuitive adventure with RPG elements included. The object isn't to kill things and search them for treasure, it's to gain clues to your own mystery. In those uncommon moments where relief can only come via decapitating an enemy, you can use your trusty sword to wreak havoc. It's found early in the game. Dragonlore is graphical, and by that I don't mean it has good graphics. I mean there's almost a complete and total absence of text. You may see a sentence or two on screen when an NPC talks to you, but you can ignore it because Dragonlore's digitized speech lets you listen to it instead. Notice I say, you may see. This is because most tasks Werner must carry out can be accomplished in either a violent or intelligent manner. Depending on how you choose to solve something, a character you meet later in the game may have a different opinion of you. Generally, the more violent you become, the more difficult a time you'll have. If you don't already know, a typical CD can hold almost 700 megabytes of data. Given that, there are graphically excellent games out there that take up only 15 or 20 megabytes on a hard disk. You'd wonder what could possibly take up enough space to warrant a CD-only format for a game. In a word, animation. Not only does Dragonlore hit you with a full-motion introduction at the beginning, but it also contains multiple transition animations inside the game. You'll see these when you travel great distances between areas. Is this sounding too good to be true? Well, for now, it is. Dragonlore probably won't be released until early 1995. By that time, I hope everyone who's viewed this preview has already placed an order for it. CD-ROM owners have complained of a lack of good CD-only titles. Dragonlore should quiet them, maybe for good.